There is conditioning of your eyes to make you see gang stalking. The training is quite simple and devastatingly effective. Keep watching and I will reveal to you how the visual aspect and the auditory aspect of gang stalking is created. To a target, reality looks very different. It is filled with people coughing loudly, purposely for the target to notice them. It's filled with people doing hand signals and mocking grins. It is also filled with words that are meant to have a different meaning to the target. The truth behind all this is that the reality of the target is changed through repetition. There is a very deliberate effort to produce the individual to see things. The reason that so many people feel, okay with imposing such a deliberate effort to make someone see things is the fact that if the target tells someone, the someone who the target tells is going to probably be a participant. And it's going to tell the target, oh, you're crazy. Additionally, if the target tells someone who is not involved, they're not going to believe the target. The only ones that are going to believe the target are other targets. That's it. No one else. Now, going back to the crux of this video, I don't really need to elaborate much because the only thing that is actually done to the target are the things that the target will see. For example, speaking to the target indirectly, doing weird moves on the target's peripheral vision, the hand signals. The target is programmed to see these things, and the target is also programmed to hear things. The programming is actually very simple. It is comprised of people really just doing the things that the target will see. By performing these actions, the mind of the target is conditioned to look for these signs of gang stalking activity. And that's it. The programming will run its course. And then when it's done and the target goes back to reality, it is repeated. Because I understood the programming, my programming began to last less and less. I would snap out of the programming in a couple of hours. That is because I understood the exact mechanism through which it functions. In this video, I want to tell you every single thing of how the programming is done to a target. So first, the hand signals. Alright, so I'm gonna do a more visual representation of what the hand signals feel like. So let's say that these represent your eyes. So you keep your eyes right here, all right? And let's say that like this is you moving your eyeballs, right? So follow this with your eyes. And let's say that I'm a gang stalker. And then your eyes are moving like here, and then you move them like that. As soon as your eyes reach me, I just move my head. And then let's say that like you look somewhere else, right? So I'm like another person. And then you just like move your eyes. I'm like hanging out. And then you move your eyes this way, and then I just go like that. And then you move them like this, and then I just go like that. So like every time that you look at someone, the person that is participating will do this fast movement. So if you're like this, I'm just gonna move as soon as your eyes land on me. So what this does is that whenever that happens, you just know that it's on purpose because it's a thing of timing. So it's that simple. So within the span of like an hour, your eyes are trained to look for the fast movements. So whenever you are like out on the street and you see this, your eyes will be attractive to that, giving you the impression that everyone is a gang stalker. Like that's all you see because it's on your peripheral vision. And you get this done so much, like a lot, that whenever you're like on the street and someone moves your arm, your mind will actually bring you like the thought that you had when you were conditioned. It will tell you that's a gang stalker. Imagine everyone doing that. Literally everyone. And this is done for like 1 hour. You know, that's all it needs to be done. Like it becomes easier and easier. And the thing is that when the conditioning is done, your eyes are literally trained to see that. So whenever someone does a fast movement, your eyes are going to be like pulled, almost like magnetized to that. And you have no escape because you are literally being trained to look for that. And I know it sounds simple, but like it gives you a panic attack. It really, really does. And the thing is that when the training is done, no one's gonna tell you that you're getting trained. And so when the training is over, you're gonna keep seeing the training. However, you're gonna think it's just your reality. You're gonna believe that everyone is gang stalking you. But the truth is that it happens in small bouts. It is a lot of work. I was a lot of work because training or the conditioning, mine like just it wore off so fast because I knew exactly what was going on. So like gang stalkers had to work like a lot, and that's funny to me. Now I thought it was funny. In the beginning, it was fucking awful. Let me tell you. So you will only know what I'm talking about if you're a target. So if you're a target, this will make sense to you. If you have seen the hand signals that I'm talking about, this will make sense to you, and you're gonna understand exactly what I mean. You're gonna know exactly what's happening. Now we're moving on to the next one. So if you are a person that doesn't understand, that is not getting gang stalked, this won't make sense to you, and that's okay. Because gang stalking is something that you have to live in order for you to understand. Let me change this, give me a second. So gang stalking is something that you actually have to live in order to understand. If you're not a target, that's not gonna make any sense to you. In fact, you're gonna think that, oh, that's crazy. Why it's just a fucking hand signal. It's just a hand movement. I know exactly what it is, and I know exactly what you're gonna think. But that's the thing with gang stalking. If you're a target and you know what I'm talking about, put a comment or give me a like. If you are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Efren Rodriguez, and this is the Gang Stalking Playbook. In this channel, we talk about the mind primarily, but I also tell you the ins and outs of gang stalking. Now, gang stalking is the art. I think it's an art where people are conditioned to believe that everyone is following them, that everyone hates them, and that everyone has their worst interests in mind. It is a thing that happens to some people for entertainment. Yeah, for entertainment by assholes. So there are so many assholes in the world that if you tell someone what's happening to you, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, you're crazy," and that's fine. That's part of the game. However, and the result is that people that are getting gang stalked typically think that they are being followed by everyone. That they what else? It is almost like paranoid schizophrenia without having the paranoid schizophrenia. It is a synthetic version of it. And the fun is in seeing the person deal with it, freak out, panic. Now we're moving on to the next one. We're gonna be using dog. So dog is a common word, right? And we're gonna be talking about the double entendre. A double entendre is something that has two meanings, typically a casual meaning and then a sexual meaning behind it. So double entendre that we're going to be using today does not have those two meanings. It is typically tied to a negative experience of the target. I'm just going to use dog because that is the one thing that comes to mind. So the conditioning for the double entendres is incredibly simple. All that is done is that whenever the target is around, I'm going to be like, "Yeah, do you see my dog?" where the target is next to me. However, I'm going to be talking to someone else. And then this is done by people where you just say, "You know, my dog." And then what happens is that once the target is out in the outside world and here's the word dog, the target will have the thought that person is doing it on purpose, or that person knows this experience that I had with dogs, whatever. That is exactly what is supposed to happen. The word is a normal word used during common conversations. However, this word is used in a way that feels negative to the target. It is supposed to be a word that the target has an experience with. So typically, during gang stalking, there are words that are used that gang stalkers investigate that the target has a negative experience with. It's either a color or a word or something that makes you think, "Oh, they know what I'm thinking," or they know that this word produces a negative emotion in me, or that it brings a negative memory. So that's why they're using it. And they're gonna bombard your mind with these words. They're just gonna be saying it in that same manner. Mine were like bottle or like white, not dog, no. Well, alternator, starter. I know, it's stupid. The words are stupid. Like, the thing is that there was a point where I got completely disconnected from that from that part of gang stalking. Like, I took all the meaning away from gang stalk or I took all the meaning of the words that gang stalkers tried to get out of them, because I wasn't hanging out with any gang stalkers. I was just busy doing my thing, and I was not paying any interest to the words. I just wasn't. I had my things to think of. So there were times where gang stalkers were literally trying to figure out a word. And I had customers at the auto parts stores saying, can you pump this hole and fill it up with gasoline, and like that. It was a comic show to me, because gang stalkers were trying to figure out a word that would get to me. And the first year, they fucking beat the fuck out of me with those words. You know, I fell for every single one of them. And it felt like they knew what I was thinking. However, second and third year, F. Not a single word they could get out of me. And it was a shit show to watch them trying to figure out a word. And I swear to God, there was like a customer that would walk in, and the customer would go, nothing yet? And then another person would be like, nope, nothing, zero. And then they would like have these conversations in front of me. Like, I know what they're talking about. And it was like an indirect conversation. It was just funny. It was so funny to me, because you would literally see them, nothing, no. And then I would see this guy that used to have long hair, and he would be here, and he would literally be like, no, this part is shit. Your auto parts are useless. And he would say these intonations of the words, and nothing would hit. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And inside, I was like living for it, because it was just so funny to watch so many people trying to fucking get a word that would produce a negative sensation, and nothing. Absolutely nothing. Zero. By the end of it, it was just funny to me. Like, it was funny, and yeah, they were still able to produce a lot of, like, how do you say, changes in my mind. I'm not gonna discredit them, because they were able to get things out of me. Like, they were still able to make me see things. But I was getting to a part where hardly anything was working. So I just learned all these tactics and these techniques to not get gang stalked. And right now, believe it or not, I have completed all of the necessary ones, because I'm literally gang stalker free. Which is why my mind is coming back to normal. Look, even like my face is looking better. My self-esteem is better. Everything feels better. So now we are on so the knots on peripheral vision. Like, let's say that you're looking this way, right? And like your focus is this cup. So then as soon as you focus on it, I just go. And then that's just weird, right? Because it's like out of rhythm. It makes no sense. And then look at here again, and then I'm just going like. Again, if you're a person that has never been gang stalked, this is not going to make any sense to you. However, if you are a target, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. And then let's say that like you're trying to focus again, and then I just go like that. Like, just like that. It's that simple. So what that's going to do is that, well, this is done a lot of times. A lot of times. Oh, give me, sorry. I need to write it on. There we go. So imagine in an 8-hour day, this is done to you like a shit ton. So like whenever you are working and someone does this, your mind is gonna notice it. And you're gonna have the thought that you had during the conditioning. Oh, that person is a gang stalker and that person is doing it on purpose. Not only the thought is gonna come back, but you're gonna see like the shadow of the person. You're gonna see it as if the person was doing it really fast, even though the person didn't. Your mind is gonna be looking out for these things. But the thing is that if the training is done, you're living a normal reality and there's no more gang stalking being done. It is only that people are just living their life. They're just doing that. However, because of your training, you're gonna do that. And your eyes are gonna gravitate to the movement, because those things are meant to pull your eyes to. You are meant to pull your eyes. So whenever I do this, and you're like looking at me, like your eyes went into the movement, right? If I go like that, your eyes are gonna go onto the movement. Your eyes are gonna be pulled into it, so you can't miss it, right? Look, we can do an experiment where I can chat with you, right? And I can be just like doing like all the gang stalking things, and then just like watch it like during like a lot of videos. And then you might, well, I'm not sure how much you actually would have to see, but I was put onto this reality via repetition. So how about that? How about this? For the next month, I will do my videos with the gang stalking signals that I saw. And then you tell me if by any chance you just happened to begin seeing it out of you. Listen, I'm not sure how much training you need to actually start seeing this. I'm not sure. Because I lived this for like 8 hours a day, every day. And it only took like one day before I began seeing it everywhere. Well, the thing is that because I'm explaining to you how these things are done, probably you won't see it because you already know. But that's how the illusion is created, the illusion of gang stalking. Now, let's see. Whispers. Okay, so we're gonna go over how the whispers are produced. So let's say that you're the target, right? And I'm the customer, or I'm like a gang stalker. So then I'm gonna be like, asshole. Just that. So whenever I like look away or cover my hand, I'm gonna be like, asshole. Just that. Or just that. Or like, fat ass. So this is what's gonna happen. The moment that you meet someone and someone just goes like this, your mind is gonna create the whisper. So it typically is in a single word. Like for me, it was like the bundle of sticks. You know, the F word, bundle of sticks, that is an insult to gay people. That was the latest one. Before that, it was WHORE. But that's how it's done. So when someone looks down and you don't see their mouth, or they're like looking away, they're gonna say that. Like, let's say like whore. You know, and they cover their mouth. So what this does is that whenever you're like outside on the street or at work, the moment that you do not see someone's mouth, your mind is gonna create the whisper. F word. That's simple. It is that simple. Next one. The whispers produced when leaving. So more of the conditioning is that when someone is walking by you, the conditioning is people walking by you, and then as soon as they walk by you and you don't see their mouth, they're gonna say another offensive word, like loser or whatever. And this is done a lot of times. And then when the training is done, people are gonna be walking by, and then your mind is gonna create the thought, loser. That's simple. Now we're going on the next. Interruption. So when you're getting gang stalked, a lot of people are going to be interrupting you. However, there is normal interrupting in conversations that is harmless. However, the conditioning is comprised of people interrupting you purposely to make you upset. That's it. It is literally people interrupting you purposely to make you upset. And next time you're having a conversation with an individual, guess what? Someone is gonna interrupt you harmlessly. However, because of all the conditioning that you've had to be upset because of an interruption, you're gonna have the thought that person is doing it on purpose, and you're gonna get mad. And that's it. That is, the one thing that still pisses me off, I'm not gonna lie, is that interruption. The last time that I encountered this, by the end of my gang stalking, I was fucking telling people not to interrupt because that's fucking rude. And let me tell you, it stopped. I put people in their place by the end. So this is what happened. I was treating a client, and she was a gang stalker because she would interrupt me purposely, So then I told her, I don't want to be mean to you, and I'm sorry if sounds out of place, but I think it's incredibly rude when you ask me a question, and when I'm about to answer you, you interrupt me, and you do not allow me to finish the answer that you just asked me to answer you. So then she spoke to me, and then when she spoke to me, I was like, don't you think that's rude? And she was like, what do you mean what I'm talking about? I got so mad. And then she began to answer. I was like, that? What? That? And she was like, what, that? Then she said, let me finish. I was like, exactly. The fact that you keep interrupting me whenever you ask me a question is incredibly disrespectful. So I'm asking you, out of etiquette, to let me finish my sentence. Do not interrupt, because that's fucking rude. I was so mad. And then she said, okay. And immediately after, I was like, if this sounds out of place and you have no intention of interrupting you, I apologize. But I have no more patience for people who lack manners. And I'm not trying to be rude. However, it is incredibly disrespectful. Wouldn't you agree that it's incredibly disrespectful to keep interrupting someone who's trying to explain something to you? Yeah, alright then. Please do not interrupt when I'm talking to you. I just fucking had it. And guess what? Problem solved. And she kept doing it. However, every time she told me, and she interrupted me, I would be like, what did I just tell you? And I kept like, what did I just tell you? I asked you not to interrupt me, to let me finish. And I'm not working with her anymore because I do not appreciate people who are fucking rude. And to be honest, that itself is the stance that you have to take in order to deal with gang stalking. You cannot allow any type of disrespect to actually take place. Because the moment you stay quiet, you are allowing the conditioning to happen. And that's the truth. When people are disrespecting you in any way, shape, or form, regardless of how strange it might seem, if something is bothering you, it's because there is something bothering you. So and the person that is trying to make you a target is going to keep telling you that you're crazy. Like, there was a time where I was checking into a hotel, and I was in line, right? And this person was behind me going blah, blah, like that. I started like a fucking dog. And then I just went and then I just stayed in line, and the person kept doing it. And then I confronted the person. So then I did that, and then I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Stop doing that. What are you talking about? And and the guy was out of shape. And you can tell that he was exhausted by the flailing of the arms, and he was like catching his breath. And I was just like, that, you're doing weird things behind my back. He was like, what are you talking about? You're crazy. Why are you talking to me like that? Playing the victim. So I just ignored him. But I confronted the person. And there was a time where I just ignored the person. The truth is that there's going to be some things that you just have to ignore. However, you do have to stand up for yourself. When someone keeps interrupting you, it is hard to tell them to stop it. Especially if you're at your work. If you are at your work and people keep being mean to you. To be honest, the action that I should have taken is from the very beginning is to not hang out with any person that would make me feel uncomfortable. If I was if I just got a job at a workplace, I should have literally quit immediately if the people at work were making me feel uncomfortable. If I was engaging in something that people were beginning to act weird, I should have stopped engaging in that vice. From the first second that things began getting weird, I should have just stopped immediately. And that's the truth. That is how you stop gang stalking. You have to quit the job. You have to stop talking to the people. You just cannot engage in anything that will keep bringing gang stalking to your life. As imposing as that might feel onto your freedom, that's exactly what you have to do, regardless of the consequences. Because let me tell you, nothing is to me, it was worth it. Because I knew I wanted to have this YouTube channel, and I knew I wanted to understand the ins and outs of it. I wanted to know everything about it. That's why I engaged it for 7 years. And the truth is that I knew that whenever I was going to be able to just finish the whole thing, finish the trial, meant that I understood everything. So now that I understand everything about it, and then I can talk to you about it, I'm done. And this is the truth. If you want to not be gang stalked, you have to stop talking to anyone, whoever you felt that was stalking you. So for me, at this point in time, I am talking to absolutely no one. I'm going to start afresh from zero. The only person that I talk to is my mom. I will not speak to anyone that at one point in time, regardless of me being sure that they were a gang stalker, that regardless of, wait, let me rephrase that. I will not get in contact with any person in any way, shape, or form that I had the slightest suspicion is a gang stalker. Because that in itself tells me that those people had the worst intentions for me. And these people do not deserve in any way, shape, or form, any type of attention, any type of hello, any type of response, in any way, shape, or form from me. Because I respect the fuck out of myself and I will never allow anyone to disrespect me like that. And if they do, then fuck them and they do not even deserve me to glance at them. And that is the truth behind gang stalking. If you're getting gang stalked, you need to fucking stop talking to anyone that became a part of that fucking experience. Because you are worth way too much. And the only way out is to stop talking to anyone for a while. You have to cut communication with absolutely everyone for a really long time. And anything that perpetuated the gang stalking narrative, you have to fucking stop it now. Because there's no other way out other than that one. If your gang stalking stopped when you stopped consuming drugs, you have to fucking stop using drugs. You just fucking have to. If your gang stalking was perpetuated by you looking to have sex, you have to fucking stop it. I don't care how much self-discipline you need. I had to learn to give myself incredible amounts of pleasure with just my mind. And it took me a long time to figure that out. During gang stalking, one of the things that kept me in that situation was that the people that I would hook up with were people who where I wasn't getting anything out of that. So I would spend time looking for a relief. However, I was being intersected by people who would have the intention of enticing me and never giving me the relief, which would lead me to keep searching. That was the one thing that kept me in the gang stalking cycle. A bunch of drug addicts. And listen, if you're getting gang stalked, you need to stop everything. Any type of connection with any people, any person that you might have a suspicion, anything that perpetuates the narrative. I'm sorry, I'm being redundant now. However, I cannot emphasize this more, that when you're getting gang stalked, you just have to stop engaging in anything that perpetuates for a very long time, regardless of what it is. And yes, it will be difficult. However, you have to understand that if you're getting gang stalked and there is substance abuse, which let me tell you, if there most likely is, or any vice, you have to stop the vice. That is what people are stuck in gang stalking for so long. Because gang stalking gets the one thing that you are going to have an incredible time getting out of, like drug addiction, like drinking. And there's going to be people pushing this vice on you so you don't quit. And because you don't quit the vice, gang stalking is going to continue. That's how you're going to get trapped. And unless you are completely done, unless you finish with that vice, unless you're completely done with that, gang stalking is going to continue. It is that simple. With me, I could have be done with the vice, and my life would be, at least in the workplace, would have been normal. However, the online community on hooking apps and whatever, whenever I got in that, the vice was pushed onto me mercilessly. And I had to quit that completely. I had to learn how to quit every single vice that I had instantly. And let me tell you, I found a way, because that is the only way that I was going to be able to get out of that. So in my previous videos, I tell you that I had to learn how to tell my mind to do some crazy things because of the necessity to. And I found a way to quit any vice, cold turkey, no cravings, and no willpower. If you happen to be interested in any of those videos are going to be in the description. Additionally, my name is Efren. This is the Gang Stalking Playbook. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope you enjoyed the show. And you probably have never heard of me. You have no idea who I am. And let me tell you, you have no reason to believe anything that I say. And you have other reason to believe that I'm crazy. However, if any of this information, you can use any of the psychological techniques to leave a vice or to have your mind please you sexually, interest you, and give them a shot. What I'm telling you, my psychological techniques will speak for themselves. And you will know that what I'm telling you is incredibly effective to stop any vice or to stop any type of sexual addiction. Because to be honest with you, I guess I was addicted to sex, you know. However, I was able to quit that because of the ways I created in order for me to stop needing other people to engage in that with me. I guess maybe I was an infomaniac, I don't know. Or perhaps was any of those vices. But let me tell you, I had all the combination, the worst combinations that you could possibly have. And regardless of it being my fault or someone else's fault, you know, I'm gonna take full responsibility of it. However, I found a way to stop all of that. I even found a way to stop vaping. So if any of those techniques interest you, check them out. I'm gonna put a link on those in the description. And once they work for you, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and write a comment or share this information with someone whom you might think could be could use of the information. Because let me tell you, I'm not sure if you have seen the change in me for the past couple of weeks, but the change is real and you can change too, regardless of you getting gang stalked or not. Alrighty? Well, anyways, thank you so much for watching. And again, my name is Efren. Take care. Bye.